Hello guys and welcome to the channel. In this one we're going to learn how to create a password generator, and basically let's just do a walkthrough of what we're going to be building in this tutorial. So this is basically it. It comes with include uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols. So let me just check this. Let's click on generate password. Okay, so it randomly generates different password as you click on generate password. Okay, so if you've generated a password, you can click on copy and then it copies that password to the clipboard, and you also get a notification. So you see that it's also selected. If I delete this and let me just right click and paste, you see that the password was actually copied. If there is nothing on the input field here and you try to copy, you get a notification that please generate a password. So basically that's what we're going to learn how to build in this tutorial. Okay, so let's get right into it. Excuse me. So what we have here, basically we have index.html, styles.css and script.js, all of which is linked in our index.html file. So let's begin by writing our markup first. So I'm just going to do that quickly. So we're going to write the CSS right now. So I think we're done with the markup. So let me go to my styles.css and let's begin to write our CSS. So we are done with the HTML and CSS for the password generator. So what we're going to do next is we're going to write the script, JavaScript part of the project. Okay, so in this one we're actually going to write so that we can explain what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable. So let's create some set of variables. So the first one is going to be empty, and this is just going to have an empty string. Okay, so I think I will just duplicate this 4 times, and this one is going to be U case, which stands for uppercase, and in here we're just going to paste in upper letter A to Z, right? Uppercase of A to Z, and this is going to be lowercase, so I'll say L, and in here we're just going to paste in same. So this one is going to be number, and this one is going to be symbol. Okay, so we're just going to do same for number 0 to 9, and we're going to do the same for symbol. So we're just going to grab a bunch of symbols, and yeah, okay, so that's it. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create another set of variables. So I'll say const, and I'll say password length, so p length, and I'm just going to say document dot get element by id, and basically I'm going to get the id of p length, so p hyphen length, so this should be hyphen, and let's close this. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this a few times. Okay, and I'm going to change the values here. So I'm going to change this one to uppercase, and so this one is going to be p hyphen uppercase, and this one is going to be lowercase, and same here is going to be p hyphen lowercase, and this one is going to be p number, so p, and this one is going to be number. All right, so this one is going to be p symbol, and same here, and this last one is going to be, okay, so this is going to be our submit button, and let's go ahead and grab our submit. Okay, so we're going to need one more, and this last one is actually going to be our password. So I'm just going to say password, and it's going to grab the ID of password. Okay, so basically all we just did is that we've gotten the various IDs we have in our index.html file. Okay, so these IDs here, p number, p symbol, and submit, and stuff like that. So basically that's what we've just done here. Okay, all right, so let's come back here and let's save. Okay, so nothing happens yet because we're, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add an event listener for the submit button. Yeah, so I'll just come down here and I'll say submit dot add event listener. Okay, and let's open this up, and it's going to be a click event. Okay, and let's use our arrow function. Okay, make sure to close up here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set an initial password. So I'll create a variable and say let initial password And the reason why I'm using let is because this variable is going to change, so we cannot use const. So I'll set it to empty, okay, which is the variable we set here. So the initial password is set to empty here, okay. And basically, let's come here. We're going to use a ternary operator, okay. So I would do like so, and I'll say uppercase dot checked. Okay, maybe I'll just write it out first, then I would explain. Okay, so basically what we said here is that if the uppercase is checked, okay, starting with this one, right, we want the initial password to be initial password, which is empty, plus uppercase, any of the uppercase letters. We're going to do that using a loop, but for now that's what this is. And if it's not checked, we want the string to remain empty, okay. So the initial password is going to remain empty. Okay, so that's basically what we did. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to replicate this for lowercase, number, and symbol. So what I gotta do here is I'm just gonna duplicate this 3 more times, and I'll change this to lowercase dot checked, and I'll change this to lcase, which is lowercase, and then let's change this also to p number first. So I'll say p number dot checked, and we're going to change this one here to number, right? And this last one is going to be p symbol, and this is then going to be changed to symbol. Okay, so basically we've done for the 4 kinds of characters we have for the password. Okay, and so let's come here. So we're then going to set the password, right, dot value, and we're going to set it. So basically we're going to set it, use a function. So I'm going to say generate password, right, and this function is going to take 2 parameters. So the first is going to be p length, right, dot value, and the next is going to be initial password. So initial password. Okay, so basically what this means is that we're going to have to create a function, right, this generate password function here, that is going to take 2 parameters. So I'm going to come out of the event listener, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function, and the name of this function is going to be generate password, as we've already seen. Okay, so let's put in the 2 parameters. So for the length, I'm just going to use the letter p, okay, or maybe I can actually use the letter L for length, okay, or maybe just anything actually can be used. So I'll just say p, and then the next parameter is going to be initial password. Okay, and let's open up. So for this, I'll set another variable. I'll say let pass be equal to an empty string. Okay, now we're then going to create a loop. So this loop is what is going to loop through all of these variables here and pick out various characters from it. Okay, so we're going to set a loop, and we're going to say in the loop we're going to say let I be equal to 0. Okay, and we're going to say that I is less than p. Okay, or well, I actually think it makes more sense to name this L. Okay, so I can say let I be less than L, which is like the length of the password. Okay, and I will then say I plus plus. Okay, all right, so let's now add what we want to happen. So let's add a block of code here. So I'm going to say pass, right, is equals to pass plus. So I'll just say plus equals, and I'm going to now say initial password, right, dot car art, and then I'm going to use my math.floor. So basically I will say math.floor, and then I will then use the math.random. So math, this should be capital letter, so math.random. Okay, so that should be random, and we will then multiply it. So I will just put my multiplication sign by the initial password dot length. Okay, all right, let's close this up. And basically we want to return something, so I'm going to come outside of the for loop, and then I'm going to say return pass, and then I'll close that up. Okay, so basically let me save this and let's see what we've done so far. Okay, so maybe I should just do a quick recap. So basically we started by creating variables for, we started by creating a variable for an empty string, and then for upper lower case numbers and symbols, and then we use the document.getElement by id to get the various IDs on our index.html. Okay, and then we used an event listener, we added an event listener to the submit variable here, and within that event listener we started by creating an initial password that we set to an empty string. Okay, and then we used ternary operators to check if the uppercase was checked, and if it was checked we set it to initial password plus the uppercase, and we did the same for the lowercase, the number, and the symbols. Okay, so that's very straightforward. And then we set the password.value to generate password, which was a function we're going to create in the future, and that is going to take two parameters. So we set password.length and initial password, and here we then created the function, and the function basically it's just a loop that loops through the initial password and uses the math method, math.floor and math.random, to get different characters randomly from the variables we set here. So basically that's what we just did, and basically we're done with the project. So I'm going to save one more time and let's come and test what we've done. Okay, so there's one more thing we need to do on our index.html. We're going to set the form control, sorry, the include uppercase, we're going to set it to checked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come here and say checked, and I'll save. So that will guarantee that every time the page reloads, at least this first one is checked. Okay, so let me click on generate password, and as you can see we have passwords with just uppercase, and if we select lowercase, voila, and if we select both, so apparently there's something wrong with our symbols. Our number is working fine, it's just the symbols. Okay, so if I come here, something is wrong with the symbols here. Okay, so basically it's just to right click and inspect. So if we inspect, let's just see our console. So let me go to console, and okay, so we see here that symbol is not defined. It's probably a typographical error. So on line 20 script.js, so let's go to our script.js and see what we have there. Line 20 symbol. Okay, and let's go upwards. Okay, so we wrote symbol, so let me just change that to symbol and save, and I think that error should be gone. So let me come here and I'm going to select symbol, and so you see we have symbols. Okay, so basically that solves that problem. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add the functionality that when you click on copy, okay, the password will be copied to the clipboard. Okay, and let's just do that very quickly. So I'm going to come here and let me just add a comment and say copy password to clipboard. Okay, and basically I'm going to start by creating a variable, and the variable is going to be copy, and basically we're just going to get the document. So document dot get elements by ID, and we're going to get the copy ID. Okay, and let's do copy dot add event listener. So let's add an event listener. So add event listener, and it's going to be a click event. So click, and let's basically do our arrow function to get out of this place. Okay, so what do we want to do? So first we want to say that if the password, so let's just do it like so. So we'll say if the password value, so password dot value is equals to an empty string, right? If it's equals to an empty string, what do we want? We want to alert and say that let's just say please generate a password. Okay, else let's say, first off, let's select the password. So I'll say password dot select. So this will highlight the password. Okay, so first we're going to highlight the password, and then we're going to say document dot execute command. Okay, so exec command. Okay, and basically the command we want to execute is to copy. So we're just going to say copy, and we're going to close that up, and then we're going to alert to let the user know that the password has been copied. So we're going to say something like password has been copied to clipboard. Password has been copied to clipboard. Okay, and I think that's it. So let's save and let's try one more time. So let's just add all the things we did, and let's do copy, and as you can see it says password has been copied to clipboard. So but how can we confirm? So we're going to paste something here and see what goes. So you see that the password we copied has been pasted here. Okay, so let's try to copy when the password field is blank, when we've not generated any password, and see. So it says please generate a password. Okay, so basically in less than 40 lines of code we've been able to generate a standard password we've been able to create a standard password generator. All right, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe and to leave a like on this video. All right, thank you, and see you in another tutorial.